Yesterday, I bought a book of stamps for the first time in, let's call it 5 years.
Made a tiny mistake on an application I paid $100 for. Have to send another check for $100. Bureaucracy can suck it.
Yes, it can. That feeling when your landlord shows up an hour early for your appointment and you're not, in fact, dressed.
Princess pants. I thought someone was trying to break in last night, but it was just the Amazon delivery guy.
Chill out, Amazon delivery guy, and have such a good day. Hello, everybody.
What's up?
This is the show that wants you to have such a good day.
The best day, really. Not just such a good day, but like the ultimate, the penultimate.
Well, why didn't we call it that?
I know we
have
should
the best day ever.
Damn it!
That'll be our spin-off show.
Yeah. Oh, then also we have the night show.
We're not ready for you guys to have the best day. Just a pretty good. Pretty good day.
A pretty damn good day.
Yeah, let's all take it down a notch.
Welcome to our Garden of Eden.
Yes, I am Sarah.
I'm Heather.
And we're on Heather's beautiful porch this week, as we are every other week or so when the weather permits.
Hashtag blast.
Hashtag blast. And it's one of my days of dread because I have to travel tomorrow for work. So it's not like a fun trip. I won't even be there overnight. So it's just like, a lot of airports and a lot of work. And it starts early. And so I'm kind of having that like anxiety, why me thing, even though I'm working. So I really have nothing to complain about.
Yeah, you should be happy you have a job.
Yes, and I am. But
I get that anxiety.
Work is work. It's just that travel thing sometimes that just, I don't know. It brings me down.
Well, it's also you have to set your alarm because you're getting up really early, and so you have to make sure everything's packed and ready because you don't want to dilly-dally in the morning.
Right.
But it's nice you don't have to pack for overnight. It's a little easier.
Totally. No, that's true. I basically just have to act like I'm going to the office for the day. I just have to go through a couple of airports on the way. Mm-hmm. But it's like, and it gets so weird too because it's like, I'll have this conversation with myself later tonight. I know I will. Where it's like, should I just shower tonight? Mm-hmm. And then I can like save 15 minutes in the morning and maybe sleep in more. Well, you know what happens if I do that? I would just lay awake worried for 15 more minutes.
Oh, of course.
That like my alarm won't go off and I'll miss my flight.
No matter what, it doesn't matter if I have any kind of morning flight, I don't sleep the night before. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how early or late I go to bed or any sort of sleeping pills. I just don't. I'm too anxious about missing my alarm.
What kind of sleeping pills are you talking about, Heather?
I actually have this like I found I was cleaning out my like a bathroom drawer and I found this old Valium. It's so expired, but I'm sure it still works. And I think I got it because of some insomnia, but like years ago.
Yeah,
that shit's good though.
Valium is not widely prescribed.
It's addictive. That's
right.
Why.
Yeah.
They won't prescribe it anymore, I don't think, because it has addictive qualities for sure.
Well, and I think I've talked about this on a previous episode. I used to have to take Ativan I had to, and I don't anymore. But weaning myself off of it after taking it regularly for a couple of years, maybe it wasn't a couple of years, but it was a good year or so, was not fun.
Oh, I bet.
I don't want to be addicted to anything like that. As fun as Xanax is, I don't want it.
No, I know. I totally agree.
Except when I do.
I stay away from it as much as possible. But occasionally, when a panic attack sets in.
Life happens. A panic attack, which I don't really know what it is. Because sometimes people will explain it to me and I'm like, that sounds really bad.
But like maybe you have had it and you just don't realize it.
Or maybe, panic versus anxiety, which still sucks.
Us talking about it right now is making me panicky.
All right, well, let's not do that then.
So the bonus topic, Sarah.
Speaking of panic.
Yes.
Yeah, what do we got?
This week we are going to talk about what are the biggest deal breakers in a relationship. I know this is going to be a crowd pleaser. I mean, come on.
Well, it depends on the deal breaker. You might be breaking my deal. I don't know.
True. Well, you're going to have to wait through the entire show, through another 40 or so minutes to hear what Sarah has to say about this.
Yeah, what a slog.
And if you're not a $5 or above patron, then you won't be able to hear what Sarah has to say. So,
yes, the bonus topic
about that.
for anybody who's new to the show or needs a little bit of a reminder is what we offer to our patrons at the $5 or up level. And it's a little bit more bonus show where we kind of dive deeper into some topics
slightly personal
that are gonna get into relationship stuff today.
Yeah,
I think there are a lot of deal breakers in relationships.
Oh, a lot.
And
I
I'm
agree.
sure that I'm breaking lots of other people's deals too. So, it goes both ways.
it does.
But how was your week this week, Heather?
My week was pretty good, actually. It's fairly low key. My jasmine is blooming on my patio finally. Super blooms happening out here.
It is very beautiful.
The thing that I love about it is it smells wonderful. It makes me feel like I'm in Hawaii. But the negative side, because there's always a negative side to things. There are bees. These are the only flowers on my patio, so I've been seeing a lot of bees, and I don't want to kill them, but I don't want them to be in the house either. Yeah. So it's a thing. But I wanted to. So it's May 1st, and I wanted to. Did you ever celebrate May Day in school?
No, I don't remember celebrating it. I just
you
knew
run around the pole.
I knew what it was. Yeah,
those ribbons, and we did
sure.
whatever. But I wanted to mention I'm obsessed with this movie that I saw recently that I probably should have seen many years ago. It's supposedly like one of the best horror movies ever made. It's a British horror movie. Some kind of say it's like a Citizen Kane of horror kind of thing.
Okay,
it's a trip. It's this it's from 1973. And it's about this sort of group of pagan people. And this sort of policeman goes to this island where these pagan people are doing things. And he's looking for a dead girl.
What is the name of this movie?
It's called The Wicker Man.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I jumped ahead. But anyway, so long story short, he goes to the island thinking he's very sure of himself that he knows what is happening on this island. It isn't exactly what he thought was happening, but something else was brewing that was bigger and crazier. And it culminates to this crazy ending that you will never be able to get out of your brain kind of thing.
Interesting.
It made me think, though, part of the theme of this movie is you can't control everything. You can do your best to
sure can't.
And this really just applies to my life right now. It's like I think I'm not a controlling person, but I feel like I'm an organized person, and I'm a hard worker. And I when I know I want something and I want to get somewhere, I do what I can to get there, and it's in my control. But it's not always in your control. Like I can't get exactly what I want just because I want it, and so you gotta pull back and let the universe do its job. Sometimes you have to let nature take its course, and paganism is about nature. It's a worshiping of nature and kind of letting things take their course. And this movie is very pagan, and it's a fascinating. I've been going down these rabbit holes online about this movie. If you haven't seen it, it's a trip, and it's not one of those movies that has jump scares. It's not like a typical horror. It's more of a drama.
Yeah.
And then it has these elements that are a bit horrifying.
Well, I haven't seen it, but hey, if it's from the 1970s, it's not like we're spoiling anything.
No.
You all had a lot of time, so if you haven't seen The Wicker Man, get on it.
Anyway, so let nature take its course. I'm trying to be more easing into things. Something is going to happen that might be wonderful. Mm-hmm. And so let go a little bit. Obviously work toward it, but don't hold on so tight that there's no room for other things to come in and influence it.
Yeah, I very much suffer from trying to control things that I simply cannot.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people feel the same way. And, you can't be laissez-faire about everything.
No.
But I think that's it's good to remember, especially when life is throwing you a little bit of a curveball.
Yep. Exactly.
That it's you can be the best and the most organized and try your hardest and have the most tenacity, and it still might not end up the way you want it to.
Exactly.
But something else can blossom in its place.
Exactly. Where there's crisis, there's opportunity, Sarah.
There you go. have such a good day. No, just kidding. There's more to the show. So I had a interesting week. I will spare everybody the veterinary details, but I had some of that this week. But
You could write a book about your veterinary
I really
adventures.
could. Yeah. Luckily, I like my vet. I don't hate going there. I mean, I hate the payment that happens when the bill comes at the end of the visit. But no, I really like those folks. But so it was funny. I didn't. This was before I went to the vet. Dog Otis. We do our morning walk. Go around the lake. This is what we do, and he was just being really kind of sometimes he has an off day. You know, he'll have 20 days in a row where he's an absolute angel, and then he'll just kind of like something setting him off, and I'm like,
Animals have bad days too.
It's gonna be a bad walk. It's like how sometimes you wake up and some shit happens in the morning, and you're like, well,
having a bad day.
This day just sucks.
Waking up on the wrong side of the bed, as
Exactly.
they would say.
Yeah. So I didn't really realize that he kind of had some ear problems, but I think that this had a lot to do with it. But it's just like only me. We're doing our thing, and we're not jogging, but we're walking briskly. And some guy is coming the other direction, and he had a disability of some kind, and so he was running strangely. I don't know what it was, whatever. I mean, he was minding his own business, but he was running in a really weird way. And like you can feel Otis tensing up, like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Why
Doesn't compute.
That doesn't look like a human. What's happening? And he didn't want to like really go up to the guy. He was almost more scared than anything. But for the entire rest of the walk, which is like another half mile, he was just like spinning his wheels. It literally spinning. Like trying to trip me and looking behind us, as if the man is going to come back and get us. And it's like, after a couple of minutes, you're like, you're okay. And then I was like, I'm embarrassed because there are plenty of people walking around the lake in the morning. It's like a very common place for exercise. And, they're kind of looking at my dog like, what is wrong with her dog? Like, I'm like, okay, great. Now everybody's walking weird today, and, it's like, he's too big for me to just like be like, hey, stop it. If he doesn't want to stop, I can't make him stop.
Yeah.
So we literally had to leave the lake.
Oh my God.
On one of our little one of the exits that is before you make the full circle, and like walk on the sidewalk. And finally it was the end of that. But it's not really even about. And I don't think he was feeling well, so I think that played a lot into it. But it's more of that kind of like when you just. It would be like if a bird shits on your head in public. Like, you'd just be so embarrassed.
Yeah.
And
like people saw.
Yeah, and right. Or you drop something, or you trip, or, just like kind of silly stuff where you're just like, okay, humans all know that we do this, but it's just so embarrassing when you like can't get your shit together, and it's first thing in the morning.
Like you make sort of a scene in a way.
Yeah.
No one wants to make a scene.
This was enough of a scene where people were like, what is happening? Because he was acting so weird.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I mean, he's a moody little pooch.
Yeah, I'll say.
Follies at the lake. I like it.
Follies at the lake.
Stuff.
A reoccurring theme here on Have Such a Good Day, brought to you by Sarah Lane. Speaking of our neighborhood in general, I know that, Heather, you see it because you're around as well, but we have lots of like, this isn't happy, but lost dog or lost cat stuff.
Lots of them
that go up on telephone poles. But just in general, there's just a lot of advertising that's going on, like old school style.
There's a lot of dogs in this neighborhood.
Where you take a little,
that's
like
true.
Here's the phone number for a babysitter, that kind of thing. There's so many of those. And the other day, I saw this flyer that I don't even know if it was a joke or not, or if it was like a promotional thing that I didn't understand, but it was about like the celebration of Tom Cruise.
Oh, I've seen that one before.
Yeah.
It's like a party. Yeah, I think I posted that to Instagram like years ago.
So it's okay. So
I think it's a real party, but it's like, they're kind of taking the piss out of Tom Cruise. Like it's like a themed Tom Cruise party or something.
Yeah, which is, I don't even know what that theme would be if it's not Scientology based.
I think it's like some of his older movies like Top Gun, I believe.
So I'm kind of looking at it, and I almost took one of the little things because I was like, I knew I would forget it was a URL. I knew I'd forget it, and then I was like, I don't even care about this. Whatever this joke is, I don't understand. But then later that day, I came across a Keanu Reeves con called Keanu Con, which is actually since passed. Apparently, it took place in Glasgow, Scotland, and it was like, I was like, what is happening? Why? It's like, I don't blame anybody for celebrating something that they think is kind of funny, but Keanu Con?
It's
listen, he's been in some,
it's too much.
He's been in some real bangers. But I don't know what we would do at Keanu
exactly.
Con.
Like, are they going to be like cardboard cutouts? Is he going to actually be there? Is he going to be signing autographs? Because like, it's kind of weird if he isn't going to be there, or at least, I mean, yeah, like what exactly are people going there for if you're not going to get his autograph or get a picture with him?
Well, apparently it was mostly just screening some movies and everybody being like, yeah, woo woo. But I kind of was like, I don't. And maybe it's because the Tom Cruise and the Keanu thing happened within just a couple of hours of each other. I'm like, what is happening right now? But it feels like we've got too many cons.
Oh yeah, I think it's the time of the con. It's like, it's for sure like it like anything catches on like wildfire. You know, I feel like there was like some of the early cons, you know, like maybe E3 and kind of Comic-Con maybe. I'm sure there's a lot of other big ones that started before that. But yeah, there is a con for everything now.
And some of it is just, I'm not, and for anybody who's like, what's a con? Convention. It just, in case that wasn't obvious, a bunch of people get together and talk about something, and there's a centering theme. But I'm not much of one either, because I don't know. I don't really like crowds in general, and I just like convention centers in general just kind of like bum me out.
Everyone's wearing a backpack.
I don't
You're
like
always
the
running
carpet.
into people. I don't like the carpet either. Your feet hurt.
Yeah.
You got to wait in lines.
Yeah. You kind of hit people, and they don't always say sorry.
There's like sweaty food there. It's just
sweaty food.
It's like con food is like the worst.
Yeah. You're right.
It's pretty bad.
But all of that aside, I have definitely had a lot of fun at conventions in my life. So I'm not poo-pooing the whole idea of it, but some of these just feel so specific.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is it even a con? Like Keanu Con? Like, what are we doing right now? And maybe I'm just not being fair to our friend Keanu, who I'm sure listens. So
I wonder if he even knows that this con exists, because he might not. Because this is like a fan con, so it's like...
He probably does.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it online, so it's making the rounds.
He's busy being John Wick 3, man.
Is that happening?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh. All right.
Yeah, it's a good movie, actually. Yeah, too many cons. I would have to agree with you. I actually saw your story a few days ago, and I thought it was funny because I completely agree. There's some ridiculous stuff out there.
And I saw it on Consequence of Sound, which is a music blog, music focused. There's other stuff. It's actually really great. So it's the fact that it's being covered, that's not what bothers me. Well, nothing about it really bothers me. It perplexes me.
Yeah.
But
it's
maybe
a cool
I'm just
phenomenon
becoming an old lady.
No, I mean, I think it's a phenomenon that hasn't always been around, and it's just gotten a little bit out of hand, like a lot of things do. Yeah. You know, and
like it's like red pants con. Yeah. Like, are we all gonna let's all wear our red pants and just kind of be friends?
Yeah, I mean, I could join that. I got some red pants.
Just no sweaty food. I don't like the sound of that.
So, Sarah, you remember that term? It was maybe a few years back. It was coined called Netflix and chill.
Yes. Yes, Heather, I've heard of that.
Well, you remember it was sort of like, it was like a sexy thing. Yep. It was always considered like a very, ooh, Netflix and chill.
Come over and do it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well, so according to the Wall Street Journal, Netflix is being sort of, fingers are being pointed at the binge watching activity, that it is affecting fertility rates, that people are choosing to continue binge watching a show instead of doing it. And sure, Okay, so it
Sounds great.
So in a way, Netflix and chill could be a form of birth control, is what they're kind of saying. But it's funny because it made me think of like the old days. Okay, so obviously not. I'm going further back with like our parents, like in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. But think about how the TV ritual was back then. So it was basically, you know, your favorite TV shows maybe wrapped by 10 p.m. and then you went to bed. There were commercial breaks where you can like go get a snack or have a quick chat with your partner, like make out real quick or whatever, you know, like, you know, now with streaming, the next episode pops up right away and you're so entrenched that like all you want to do is like be comfy on the couch and have, you know, there's no time for flirting because, you know, you just, it keeps going and keeps going. It's funny though, there was a Survey Monkey did a survey with about 1,000 people for the Wall Street Journal, and the results were that 1 in 4 people turned down intimacy in favor of binge watching, and this was people from like 18 to 38. You know, the rate is definitely higher with younger people, but 36% of them said that they would rather watch streaming video than have sex. But it's part of a bigger problem because we have technology, phones, Instagram, video games. But remember, at least back when we were growing up, and think back to when TV was a kind of a ritual where there were only like 3 channels, and there was maybe you were more bored back then, so you're like, let's have sex because we're bored. There's not enough like entertainment.
I don't know,
available.
man. I watched a lot of MTV.
So did I.
So, but I was, you know, I mean, some of this precedes sex ages, but yeah, there's probably something to that. I love how Netflix just gets thrown under the bus.
I know.
Whenever there's a story about like, if there's a show that you want to watch and you don't want to be sexy instead, it's like Netflix and not chill.
I know, it's so funny because Netflix actually had some quotes in the story, and they were just like, well, wait a minute. No, that's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to like lower the birth rate. You know, it's like they're like fighting for themselves, you know?
I would believe the management of Netflix for saying that's not really what we're meaning to do.
Well, it's like it's in their plan. They're like developing shows. They're like, okay, you know, they're in like the writer's room and they're just like, okay, we got to make sure that people don't have sex.
Okay, yeah, right. Like no more babies, no more babies. What kind of show can we give them that'll just turn it all off? It's also not mutually exclusive, right?
Of course.
There are certain things that might make you want to do that more.
Sure.
And others that would be less so. I'm trying to think of any show I'm watching right now where I'm like, what a sexy show. Not really.
No, not really.
Like kind of just Game of Thrones and everybody dying and killing each other.
Yeah, there's like no sex anymore in Game of Thrones, and it's HBO. There should be more.
Yeah.
Well, there will be. I'm sure that there will be.
I think there probably will be.
I actually, in the trailer for next week, I think there was someone was kissing someone.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, no spoilers here.
So Netflix is... I would not blame Netflix for killing my sex life. I wouldn't call my sex life an 11 right now. But no, I don't think that's really... Although I love binging a good show. And to binge a good show with somebody next to you. I
know. It's the best feeling.
That's like the coolest.
It is the coolest. I agree.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, you're just like, I don't really want to like get up and get naked. It's like so comfy and cozy in our little, you know, cocoon.
Well, you have to get up.
I don't. Yeah. Or just like shift positions, I guess.
It's a vertical situation. Heather's like, too much work. I can't hold you anymore. Okay, so Netflix is perhaps killing our sex life in some way, but probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
There's probably bigger factors at play here.
Speaking of big factors, our patrons.
Ooh.
Patreon.com/HaveSuchAGoodDay is where you can find out more about becoming a patron if you aren't already one. We love our patrons, and the reason is that is how we make our show every week.
Pretty much.
You are our bread and butter. You are our lifeline. You are our lifeblood.
You really are. We've got a few new patrons I would like to highlight.
Please do.
I love this name, Elodie Mirza. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Elodie.
Elodie?
Yeah.
So cute.
Hi, Elodie. I actually know you. we've met in person,
Oh, cool.
but she's been around for a long time.
Yeah, she wrote us a really sweet note. She said we could have drinks with her if we get out to England at some point. So we're really happy that you're joining us. We have Randall Perkins, also a cool name. I mean, so many cool names.
Randall!
And
what up?
Nicola, or it's Nicola, just joined this week. So welcome, everybody. And I want to do a quick shout out to our Discord VIPs because we need to give them some love. And these are people that have been in there for a while. We have like ongoing conversations on a regular basis. They're kind of our VIPs. Jake Adams, Long Welsh, Leah Hunt, DJ Sipos, Craigo, Tina, Raven, Nerd, and Kevin Belanca.
You are all
we love ya.
Wonderful humans. If indeed you are in fact humans.
Who knows, they could be
we
a
actually
bot.
haven't met any of you. Well, a couple of you.
I mean, who knows? There could be a robot out there somewhere.
No, it's great. Yeah, I like to think that Nicola is like Ricola. So
Yeah.
it's Nicola. And I hope that people address you that way every time that they address you. But yes, thank you so much to our new folks and the Discord folks. You are the best. Well, I mean, you're all great, but the Discord folks are definitely our VIPs, and that's at the $10 or up per month level.
So if you have a buddy who you think would enjoy the show and get a good laugh and perhaps have such a good day, then let them know so we can thank more people for joining us.
And chat it up. You know, it's funny,
man.
when we started our Discord, we were like, oh yeah, we'll have like a bunch of different channels, and we all just kind of tend to hang out in the general channel, which is fine. But it's like, in my greatest of dreams, there's 20 of them, and
Yeah,
there's
that'd
all
be
sorts of
amazing.
different topics,
Yeah.
because I'm like you, where I like to be really organized about that stuff, and that's fun too. But I also don't want to control you.
But girls can dream.
Girls can dream, and they do. Man, I had some weird dreams. Speaking of Game of Thrones, before we move on to our next topic, so there's no spoilers, but there's very cinematic music in the most recent episode that we watched, and it's, I don't know, it's funny, because I went down a rabbit hole too, where I was like, when you were watching your horror film, where I'm just like, I need to talk to other people about this, I need to talk to people about the music, and some people were like, that was garbage, and I'm like, I didn't think it was garbage, but I've also watched the episode enough that the music is like in the back of my mind now, just 24/7.
Yeah.
It's in my dreams. When I can't sleep, I hear it. I hear it right now, talking to you. And it's like, I did it to myself because I watched it too many times,
Yeah.
too close together. But I don't know what to do with weird earworms.
Well,
Like, I
that's the thing,
can't make it go away.
But clearly they knew it would be an earworm. They created it. So it's like, it's, it was probably very calculated. But that's a good point. Yeah. How do you zap like something that's just like repetitive in your brain?
Because have you ever, this happens to me with music. I can't really think of another example, but it does happen to me with songs. Like the Adele song, Someone Like You, which is super popular. It's like, it's a great song. But it got played so much that it started to permeate my brain when it was not playing.
Wow.
I would hear it in my brain, and I was like, in that moment where you're like, okay, get it together. Just stop thinking about the song. Get it out of your brain. And it's like I couldn't. The song had taken over.
You need to squeegee your brain somehow.
Yeah. I don't quite, people say, well,
Get
listen,
a lobotomy.
People you know what? That is probably a great idea. It would make a lot of things easier.
It would.
I would
wouldn't it?
like to care
man.
less sometimes.
Oh, me too.
But no, people always say, well, just listen to other music, and then then it'll
Yeah.
flush it out. But if it's like silent and I'm in bed,
No, you're right. That's
and I
true.
can hear the song in my mind, and it's just, I can't really get rid of it. It's like I'm not gonna get up and like play music.
Yeah, no, I totally, it's a tough one. I wonder if you guys have any suggestions on how she can like get this out of her brain, email us at hi@havessuchagoodday.com.
Am I alone here? Does no one else suffer from this?
No, I do. I definitely do.
Because you know that, or how about this? Okay, this is something similar. You know when you might think of something unpleasant, and you're like, oh, this is unpleasant, I don't want to think about this anymore. But like you kind of can't help it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, but
the brain plays tricks on you.
Yeah, like it's like, and then it becomes this like, you're kind of like having a tug of war with yourself, and it's really weird. And these, again, like the Game of Thrones song, like the song that I can hear in my head is not unpleasant, but I don't want it there all the time.
Yeah.
It's like it's knocking on the door again, and I'm like,
It's
I'm
kind
done
of haunting
with,
you.
I'm done with you. It is haunting. That's exactly the word.
I think
for
the
it.
best solution would be to just listen to something else on repeat for a while, and maybe it'll just mix things up a little bit.
I suppose. I know this is all very new. I'm sure I'll get over it.
That's funny. I had a dream about Kanye West boxing with somebody, and I was in this exclusive room where they were literally building a boxing like ring.
Okay.
And I have no idea why I would dream about boxing. Like that is the farthest from like my thoughts. Very strange, but I've been having very vivid dreams. It might be my new CBD pipe.
Maybe so. Well, all right. So moving on to a little something I wanted to talk to you about, because I know you got a tattoo for the first time recently.
Yep, on my forearm.
I guess it wasn't that recent.
For you video people.
Like a year ago?
Yeah, it was about a year ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I have one as well. It's on my back.
Mm-hmm.
It's on my lower back, so we'll just go ahead and call it a tramp stamp because that's what it is. And that's okay. I don't care. I wanted it in that particular spot, and that's where it is.
You used to be a tramp, and now you're not, and now you kind of feel self-conscious about it.
Yeah. I'm trying to reinvent myself. but it's this tattoo is... It's well, you know, whatever. If you see me in a bathing suit sometime, you'll see it. But it doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
I really wanted a tattoo when I was old enough to legally get one. To the chagrin of my father, who was very anti-tattoo for I don't even really know why, but he didn't like them. And it's still there. And I've just been thinking lately, like, okay, I'm not gonna get rid of it. Going through the process of getting a tattoo removed. I've had some friends who have done this, and it's expensive. It's very painful, and sometimes it doesn't even really work that well.
Yeah.
So I don't care enough about that. But I also feel like, okay, well, I kind of want another tattoo, but I don't really like the one I have now, or I don't love it anyway. So why not cover it with something that's like a different shape and it's still in the same area? Because otherwise, I feel like I'm just kind of adding on to something that I don't really like in the first place. So anyway, there are so many really good cover-up tattoo artists. Not that I know them personally, but some tattoo artists are known for this. And there is a tattoo artist in our neighborhood who's somewhat known for it. However, he's got a really cool Instagram. Don't remember your name right this second, so sorry. If I get a tattoo from you, I'll definitely shout you out. But for the most part, he does these like beautiful portraits. Like it would be like a portrait of my grandmother, you know, on my bicep.
Do that.
Right. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. But well, I mean, it might be if that was meaningful to me. But so you see these portraits and you're like, whoa, they're like so good. That looks like a photo. But I'm not really looking for that. So my search is and I'm actually gonna meet with him because why not?
Do you have an appointment?
We're going back and forth on Gmail right now. So yes, I don't have an appointment to go in there, but he's kind of just like trying to get a little bit more information on like, well, what do you want? Because he obviously has a specialty where I'm like, that's really cool, but it's not really for me. And also the cover up stuff is, you can't just cover up anything. You have to get creative with color and shape and all that stuff. But it is insane how much of a tattoo research community exists online. And I know you know about this.
Oh, yeah. I've gone down some rabbit holes for sure on Pinterest.
Pinterest is a good place. Instagram is another. And I don't know if anybody's a really good tattoo artist out there and wants to cover up my tattoo, let me know. But
I just wonder, like, how well do they 100% cover it up, or is there like little spots where you're like,
oh, there are. Well, I mean, you know, who knows? It depends, I'm sure. But there are some before and afters where you're like, whoa, how'd you do that? It didn't seem possible. And you like worked it out somehow. I don't know. I'm not an ink expert really. But so yeah, what I wanted everybody, we'll do a poll and whatever gets the most votes, that'll be what I get on my back. Just kidding. Not going to do it that way, but I'm still trying to figure out what exactly I do want.
It would need to be in the greenish blue, because that's what I remember. There's
some aqua in there.
Yeah, aqua.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe a big ocean.
Maybe
Just
like
a big ass ocean
with
on my back.
and a bunch of animals and coral and like yeah.
I actually had this. It was a terrible idea. It didn't last very long, but I had this idea a couple of years ago because I've been thinking about this for a while, of doing like a totem pole of tattoos that have nothing to do with each other, and just like, so someone would be like, what is that? And you'd be like, well, in 1999 that's when I got this one, and it would be like a great conversation piece. I no longer think that's a great idea, but I don't know, it was an idea I had for a minute.
I mean, it doesn't even matter. Like, do whatever you think. We're all just gonna be.
Really, at this point, I'm like, I don't even think it matters.
No, because I mean, who's gonna see your back? Okay, maybe a person here and there, maybe the same person.
My Netflix friend.
Yeah, but we're all just going in the ground. So what does it really matter?
Yeah, I
as long as you enjoy it, you can.
I probably won't go full face tat at this point. But I
neck tat. I think you should do a neck tat.
I do too. I do. I think neck tats look great.
Okay, right off the top of your head, like what would you get? Like if you were at gunpoint and someone was gonna like do a tat on your neck.
I don't know. Probably some sort of flower arrangement.
Yeah, like something sort of simple and beautiful.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like, look you, or
mom
in like old E. But no, I don't know. I just think that I think they're cool, and I know that they seem aggro to some people, but I think that many tattoos seem aggro. Like
they're on the tougher side. Oh, I mean, also because the skin. I mean, that must be really painful to get a neck tattoo.
Probably.
Like it's weird, especially like right here. If they're like. Yeah, because you push here and you push on a certain part of your neck.
I like the side tat.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd go symmetrical.
Yeah.
But and there's still time for me to change my mind. Anyway, so that
keep us posted.
Yeah, I will. And yeah, it's a if anybody, but in all seriousness, if anybody at least in the Los Angeles area, which is probably where this would happen, knows of a great tattoo artist, particularly somebody who's good at cover-ups, you let me know at hi@havesuchagoodday.com.
Yeah. So Sarah, I know enough about you to know that you're not really a diet person. You don't do diets. And there's a lot of fads. There's always a new diet. I mean, I don't know how many diets there are out there, but they're always changing, and they're, often ridiculous
or something that worked really well. Well, then all of a sudden some doctor will be like, this is really bad for your heart.
Exactly.
And then everyone's like, well, don't do Atkins anymore, kind of thing.
Yeah. So things change, always new ones. So it was funny because there was my friend Lola reads this blog called scarymommy.com. I don't know if you're familiar with it. But this thing was circulating around the internet a few days ago. It was a lot of people found it very amusing, but as I did too. So there's this old diet that was published in Vogue that was from the 1970s, and it consisted of basically getting drunk and eating eggs.
That sounds amazing.
I know.
Good.
So basically, here's the diet. Okay, breakfast. 1 hard-boiled egg, a glass of dry white wine, and black coffee.
What?
Lunch, 2 more boiled eggs, poached if necessary, 2 glasses of white wine, more black coffee.
Ugh.
No, it gets better. Dinner, a 5-ounce steak, the rest of the wine in the bottle, and more black coffee. I mean, okay, first of all, no veggies ever? And like hardly, I mean, I guess you got your protein, but like no fiber. But apparently,
and a lot of wine. You're drinking over a bottle of wine in a day?
Yeah, like 43% of the calories are coming from the wine.
Yeah,
which is insane.
It's a lot of sugar.
It reminds me. There was this thing on Howard a while back. This woman who lived till like 110 or like some crazy number, like was very healthy until she keeled over. Every day she ate 1 raw egg and 1 boiled egg every day for like most of her life. And she lived like so long. So Howard always thought that maybe the eggs have, there's a longevity there.
Well, listen, I am a fan of wine and I'm a fan of eggs. Black coffee, I usually got to cut it with something. But
yeah, me too.
But I mean, in theory, it's like, this sounds like an interesting snack. But I don't
It might kill you.
Yeah, I don't want to do it 4 times a day.
No, I think the person who tried it, like, was some journalist tried it just to see what would happen. And can you imagine how you feel? You basically be like crying because, you know, wine like
crying.
triggers like emotion, you know, like you'd probably be crying by the end of the day. Like that much wine and like hardly any calories. Anyway, I thought it was.
Well, also, I mean, you're getting tipsy like straight up first thing in the morning. I don't know how you get anything done.
It's so tempting to try it though, just to see like maybe.
I've had alcohol for Bloody Mary, right?
Sure.
Why they were invented. But oof, yeah.
I mean, if you don't die, maybe it would be interesting to just see
what happens.
Maybe you'd be really creative. You know, you'd get like these wacky, creative, like ideas. I don't know.
You'd be
wacky. Be wacky, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought, Sarah, you know, like we could take one for the team and try it sometime.
I love eggs so much, and I'm almost always eating fried eggs. I do scrambling. I'm like, I don't even want to deal. And I like fried eggs. Some people don't. Sometimes I'll microwave an egg, but usually I just fry them.
I like an old-fashioned boiled egg.
Yeah, me too. But I never do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love a good egg. And you can dress up an egg with all sorts of things. But this diet doesn't sound like the kind of, like I'll have eggs and salsa and avocado and some corn tortillas.
Yeah, and I mean, after this diet, after even like 2 days, I mean, you'd be sick of eggs. It would ruin eggs for you. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, eating that many eggs and like that's it?
I do know, there was a friend of mine who was, this is really weird because she's like a little toothpick now, but she went through this bodybuilding phase. Yeah, she wanted to compete in bodybuilding competitions, and so there was a lot of
You know everybody, don't you?
Well, yeah. But she had to bulk up.
Yeah.
So the whole thing was like some people, you know, you like lose weight first and then gain muscle, and it was like the way that and she had a trainer. She was really serious about it. The whole idea was like, you got to get fat and then you got to convert it all to muscle. That was just the way that they were doing it. And she's my size. So, I mean, you 10 pounds and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, you look really different, you know? And there was more that had to happen. And yeah, the amount of eggs she was eating every day, as well as like peanut butter and just stuff that's fatty, you know, where it's like, it helps you like create mass and is good for muscle too, was criminal. Like I won't say her name because I don't know if she would want me to, but at one point I was like, this seems really weird. Like this is like, and she would extreme. And she would be like, I don't want to eat anymore. I hate eating now. Eating is like this awful thing I have to do because she had to consume so many calories per day that she eventually abandoned the whole project.
Well, I think also like taking any sort of extreme. I mean, like drinking 4 glasses of wine every day. I mean, that's insane. Like who created this crackpot diet? You know, like doing anything to an extreme, I think for me is not something I'm ever attracted to. Like, I don't know. I feel like I don't want to eat too much of anything. You know, anyway, it actually brings this visual. You can't get your Game of Thrones music out of my head. Well, you know what I can't get out of my head is, did you see those pictures of, you know, Mountain from Game of Thrones?
Yeah. That
dude, that actor.
Yeah.
All these photos came online of him and his girlfriend, like just hanging out, like, you know, sort of taking photographs, like on vacation and whatnot. Scary. I mean, this guy is abnormally large.
Big dude. And I don't think it's the original actor. I think the Mountain that is in the show now
is a different Mountain.
Because he's in the show, he's like supposed to be like that. Now he's like possessed.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's a different one than was original. I might be wrong about that.
I wonder what happened to the original guy. Maybe he
I think they needed a bigger dude.
Oh, this guy is huge. It's weird to see him in real life scenarios too, because you're like, he does not look, he looks like something other than a human.
Right. Yeah.
It's scary.
He's a big man.
Yeah.
Big man.
Anyway, you guys.
It'd be kind of cool to have a boyfriend that big though. Because you could just say anything to anybody and be like, and that's my boyfriend.
That's true.
And they'd be like, okay, bye.
You'd feel so like protected.
I'd probably be, like a little yappy dog.
Yeah.
Just being like, antagonizing everyone, knowing that they would just be like, okay, bye.
God, I feel like he would like break the bed. I mean, I'm sorry, but I think that's what would happen. Even just sleeping in it.
Regular humans break the bed
That's
if they're
true.
having enough fun.
Netflix and chill.
Yeah, Netflix and then we'll really chill.
Yeah,
after
real.
a
For
long
reals.
binge.
So speaking of Elodie, one of our new patrons, I wanted to shout out her adorable little email she wrote us. And you know what? We love adorable emails. We want to hear from you early and often. Please email us at hi@havesuchagoodday.com. Elodie says, I'm loving the podcast. Started to listen from the first episode yesterday, which I gave her a little bit of like background on that. I don't know how many people have gone all the way back to like our first episodes because we're at 41 now. I've been lucky enough to meet Sarah when I visited the brick Twit house many years ago. She was just as lovely then as she is now. But you both are. But
You're
I'm
great.
liking the non-self-edited version of Sarah with the cursing. Feels like you're bringing your whole self to the show, which I'm really enjoying. If you ladies ever find yourself in the UK, you've got an open invitation for drinks.
Elodie, you're great. I'm glad you like my cursing. I actually tried not to too much. I think sometimes it just sort of happens in the show. Both Heather and I will drop an F-bomb here and there. Or, you know, sometimes it's
Some people like it, some people don't.
It's just the right word for me. There are other shows that I do when that's not appropriate ever. And so, you know, you got to self-edit when applicable. But
well, we're explicit.
Yeah, I mean, we're just kind of trying to be ourselves.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's
let it fly.
Yeah, it's as much as this is the Rost us that we've got, everybody.
So enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy it. And also, I think we're going to enjoy wrapping up the show.
I think so. Bonus topping coming up for you $5 and above ballers.
Indeed. For everybody else, thank you for watching and listening. We do have a YouTube channel. We offer all of our episodes on video. So if you want to see Heather's porch, you know where to go.
Exactly. We got a lot of followers on YouTube. It's you know, it's a place that people want to be. So come hang out with us.
Absolutely. And again, to our patrons, thank you so much. You are truly making the show what it is. But we need more of you. Let's grow our army.
Yes, please.
Because winter is coming.
This is true.
Actually, winter is for sure here.
Yeah, it's for sure here. And you know, we won't be able to fight the good fight without more of you.
That's
so
right.
Please tell a friend.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I'm not so cool, but I don't have a dragon.
I do.
Oh, well, you know.
He's in my garage.
Way to bury that lead. All right, everybody, thank you so much. We will do this again next week. Until then, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Heather.
And have such a good day.